Happy New Year, you filthy animals. What else was I going to say?
I can't remember what I was going to say.
Happy New Year, you filthy animals. Hope you're powered up and ready for the year ahead.
We have a real special show coming out to you today. EMBN is 1 year old.
Wow, 1 year old. What we're going to be looking forward to on today's show is the tech in 2019, our wish list, and what's going to be the X factor.
That's all coming up in this week's EMBN show. So 2018 has been really exciting, loads of new people, new places, new technology, things moving forward daily, but I reckon 2019 is going to be even more exciting. Steve, I want to wind it back to 2004 for the Honda RN01 downhill bike. That bike is the ultimate bike, right?
Yeah, I mean, winding back looks, what were you looking like back in 2004?
Pretty fit.
Long hair?
Yeah, long hair.
But to wind the clock back to 2004, that was the year when Greg Minnaar and the mighty Honda Corporation launched the Honda RN01 onto the World Cup circuit, and Greg Minnaar won the opening race. And if any bike was ahead of its time, both visually and in terms of technology, that was the bike. Yeah. And you know what? I can actually see a battery fitted into that bike.
I can literally feel sliding that battery into the down tube. Yeah, that bike was designed to be an e-bike.
Exactly.
Surely.
And you know what? At this year's Eurobike show, we saw Moobayer, and they made a combined motor and gearbox drive system in one. It was about 4 kilos. And it just seems to me that that would slot into that Honda frame very, very nicely, and a battery added into there.
Fingers crossed.
Yeah,
Honda,
totally.
Bring it on.
But yeah, I think in terms of the wish list for me, the gearbox is definitely on my wish list. And you know what's interesting is that that company, Sachs Micromobility. Now, Sachs Bicycle Components was actually bought by SRAM many years ago, but there was another part of that company owned by ZF, which is now teamed up with Magura and Brakeforce One, and they're making a drive unit, a motor, and braking and ABS system on there. So I can see those guys possibly, making inroads into that technology in the future.
Big names to put into a pot together, isn't it? Some exciting tech, some big financial input, and hopefully some exciting stuff coming from there.
What about batteries? Where are we at on batteries?
Well, I think at the minute, obviously, you've got the big specialised 704.
Yeah, you got Rocky Mountain 632.
Yeah, got some big.
New Fly-On's going to be 600 watt hours.
And of course, you can combine some of those systems with 500 watt, combine 2 batteries for that ultimate 1,000 watt hours as well. From likes of High Bike and people like that as well. So.
Do you know what? I think e-bikes have made massive strides in the last few years, and I think there's lots of things being learned, and both in batteries and motors. But I think it's in geometry where things are still got to be a little bit fine-tuned, and that's because I think you can actually get e-bike specific geometry, and not all brands have tuned into this quite yet. Things such as the chainstay. Now, there's a lot of people making super short chainstay e-bikes, and that makes them really good on descents and in corners. But on an e-bike, don't forget you're doing climbing and descent, and I think chainstays probably in the from the 450mm range is going to make those bikes a lot more capable on the climbs. Obviously, if you've got a longer chainstay, you need to include a longer front centre on the bike as well. So I think the balance point of those numbers is yet to be worked out.
Definitely.
And then I think there's a lot being talked about in terms of higher bottom brackets on e-bikes, and higher bottom brackets, shorter cranks. I'm not so sure about that, because I'm happy with traditional mountain bike geometry, and I think bottom brackets around in the 340s, which means the bikes are really good in corners, is really important. So I'd hate for it to be compromised just because pedal strikes on climb. I think that's to do with your technique, rather than short cranks and high bottom brackets. Personally,
let's talk a little bit about materials as well. What do you think in sort of carbon fibre, aluminium? What's your thoughts of that stuff next year?
Well, I don't know. What do you think about carbon or aluminium?
Carbon, I think definitely for that higher end stuff, that higher slight sort of performance advantage you get from carbon is minimal. It's not so big on the e-bike side of it, is what it is on a traditional bike. I think we're seeing a lot of movements with decent aluminium frames. Obviously, for that less price point is something that's always been good.
I think what a bike looks like is really important to a lot of people, and I think whether it's alloy or carbon fibre, the bike's got to feel right. It's going to be, I think we'll see lighter bikes coming onto the market. I'm sure kind of 15, 16 kilo bikes are quite a way off.
Yeah.
But visually appealing e-bikes, I think, is really, really important for the market.
Definitely. And they're getting more and more sexier, slimmer, and looking good every single day. I think we're seeing massive advancements in that.
And in terms of the motors, now there's been a huge amount of comments here on EMBN over the last few months. The fact that a lot of the motors we have are not just 250 watt maximum. They go from 250 watts minimum up to probably, I don't know, about 1,000 watts. So will we be seeing more powerful motors? I mean, the Rocky Mountain Power Play is a really powerful motor. The new high bike Fly-On is 120 newton meters of torque.
Isn't it? Yeah.
I think torque can get you only so far. Yeah. And I think what we'll see in the year ahead is that people will want torque, but they also want battery range as well, because there's a correlation between increased torque and more batteries. Yeah, so what do you want?
As you say, I think you can only get out what you put in. So basically, anything that's going to come out of that battery has to go somewhere. So obviously, if you're pulling more power out of it, you're going to run out of battery sooner. So that range is going to drop. But personally, I think we're at a good place with power, and I think range is the one for me. I want to get out on that bike and actually flatten the battery, flatten myself rather than the battery. So I want to be dead before that battery's dead.
But we're already there. I think at the minute we've got e-bikes where you're going to tire out before the e-bike does. And I think what we didn't mention is actually charging, Chris. Faster charging, so we can get back out on the trail as well.
Exactly, that'd be good. And I think having those charge stations like Bosch have done out in the mountains already, get a few of them like dotted around all over the world is going to make those charging those bikes out on the trail even easier.
And are we going to see, do you think, more of the sort of Lapierre snake tube technology where you can add cells of battery to the bike?
Yeah, I think that's going to be a good thing. Obviously, you can just tailor that battery output to what you want to do. If you're nipping out for a power hour, just put enough battery in to last an hour. But if you're doing an all-day epic, fill that right up to the max and get out there.
So I think that's where we're at. So wish list for 2019. I think e-bikes are already quite advanced, and we've seen fine-tuning, but it's going to be a fine-tune of a fine-tune in the year ahead, Chris.
Definitely.
But that's enough about bikes and products. What about people, places and events in 2019?
Places and events, obviously that means travelling, and that's something that we really need to get sorted with the e-bikes. Flying with an e-bike at the minute is a big problem. It's something that's really hard to get around. Obviously, you either fly with just your bike and try and hire a battery out. You can see more of that, do you think?
I think so. I think there's going to be far more people tuned into battery hire for Bosch, Specialized, Shimano. I think there's going to be those hire centres popping up all over the place. Well, certainly be a good business, wouldn't it?
Definitely. So you just fly with your bike and rent a battery when you're over there, give it back. It's pretty good business to me, I think.
Yeah. Now, in terms of events and racing, there's been, at the end of 2018, there was a lot of talk about world-level series e-bike events in 2019. It's tapered off a little bit. I think there was a lot of hype, a bit of a race towards to get people tuned into that. But I'm not so sure about racing. Now, I did a couple of great events last year. I did the Bosch event in Garda, which was great. It was a good fun event, a mix of trials, downhill, uphill, and just generally going from A to B, a bit of orienteering. That was really good. The Shimano experience was really good. I think racing, there's always going to be, it's never going to be equal. There's going to be motors which have got more power. There's going to be lighter riders. There's going to
cheats.
There probably will be cheats, of course they'll. It's going to be what's going to be the ultimate motor. But e-bikes shouldn't have to follow, other traditional mountain bike events. It should find its own path, I think, and not get so stressed about racing. Yes, there will be racing, but I'll happily go and do a race just to go and ride new trails. Exactly. I don't give a damn about the timing. What do you think?
Yeah, I think it's more about adventure, as you say, and getting out there on the bikes, exploring. Really utilising that e-bike rather than timing it against the clock, something that we've done for years and years, in the past.
What about Freeride events, Chris?
Freeride events, so loads more
bigger, higher, longer. Maybe, come on.
Yeah. But
you got, we've seen all these, these new
school riders getting into it.
New guys, getting on the bandwagon. New ambassadors.
These guys are just the ones that were pushing up hills back in the day. They're riding back up there now. There's nothing too, new about that. But yeah.
But in answering the question, what about Freeride events on e-bikes?
Can't see it happening.
Why not?
Not as manoeuvrable as some of those bigger bikes, I don't think.
Yeah, but bigger. Going to do bigger. You guys,
sure. Bigger.
And Blake and Pilgrim have been rattling on about bigger longer jumps for the last 12 months.
But going big don't win, unfortunately. Going tech and doing spinning around and things like that, that's what wins freeride competitions.
I see. Right. Well, we'll swiftly move on to the next part of the show then. Now, what better way to start the year with news that those high bike fly on all mountains are in the flesh and they're out there on the trails already. Well, this if you work for High Bike. So Piers High Bike recently sent me this video. They've been out filming and shooting. So the big news is that bike, that High Bike fly on all mountain, is absolutely amazing in the snow. Of course, there's going to be some of you guys down in the southern hemisphere where you'd be lying on a beach, but you'd be glad to know that that's a really capable bike in the winter months of the northern hemisphere. And it's time for the technical part of the show.
Yeah, something nice I saw on the internet this week was the Samurai kit. So basically, this is for all you tubeless tyre riders out there. It's a little insert that when you get a big hole that you can't seal with tubeless, basically an insert you push through the tyre, pull it out, and it sticks in there and just plugs that hole. But it's neatly stored in the end of your handlebars as well. So it's going to be there whenever you need it. You're not going to forget about it. It's going to seal all those biggest holes. So real cool bit of kit.
Now, that's not the only bit of tech we've got to report this week. Now, we know how much Chris is fond of protection and sleeves and whatnot on e-bikes.
Yeah.
And what you got?
Saw these on eBay actually. MH do this kit, which is basically a kit like a silicone sleeve that wraps around the display unit of the bike, just stops it getting scratched, stops water ingestion, things like that. It's obviously quite a delicate unit and a part of the bike, so that is a good little kit and not a lot of money, and nice little upgrade for the winter months as well, keeping that nice and dry and scratch free.
Now, I've been a massive fan of Arnold Schwarzenegger over the years. Films such as Conan the Barbarian, Predator, Total Recall. I think Recall is my favourite, actually. But anyway, he's been out on e-bikes, right, Chris?
Yeah, he's been out scouting around on the high bike around town as well. Big cigarette in his mouth.
That's a cigar, Chris.
Cigar, I mean, big cigar in his mouth, cruising around town on his high bike.
Now, I know that it's New Year, but don't forget to get out practicing on your U-logs to fine-tune your balance skills on your e-bike. So all it takes, basically, is a falling down tree and get on top of it and ride up and down it. Simple as that. This is how to do it. Now, log rides are a great way of practicing your balance on your e-bike, and there's going to be logs everywhere in the woods. So the technique with riding logs is simply to look as far ahead as you can and keep a steady momentum. But sometimes the logs are going to be rough, so again, you need to keep it really smooth. Oh God! Obviously it gets narrower when you get towards the top. Ah! But it's all good fun. Chris, I am elated with this week's Climb of the Week from Christine in British Columbia.
Yeah, it's looking good. She says, having ridden down this beautiful slab many times, never dreamed that climbing up it would be possible. I watched my hubby make it to the top, then I decided to give it a go. And despite what my brain was telling me, I made it. This bike has to be made. What was once thought to be impossible, achievable.
Yeah, that looks great. I'm jealous. I really want to go and ride that rock in BC.
Does it nice and smooth.
Keep sending your videos in from wherever you are in the world, and yeah, maybe one day we'll come and visit. Right, this week's Ghetto Tech is from Joey. Now, we were slightly worried because it was titled Getting a Tug in the Woods, but we played it anyway, we risked it, and this is Joey getting a tug in the woods. It's as simple as that, really, and I guess it's the same as a tugboat in the docks, but this is the e-bike version.
Cruising up that hill with ease.
Oh, I like it. And it's time for the big spinning plastic globe. Chris, have you been watching that Sean Penn series where they go to Mars?
No, I haven't.
No? Have you been watching that, Brandon?
No.
Anyway, where's this week's Where in the World from?
Wakeley Woods in
Where's
the UK.
Wakeley? In the UK, right. Okay, in the UK. What have we got?
We got this one in from Harry here. He says,
Why, Harry?
thanks for posting my photos on YouTube. I'm 14 and brought the Cube around 4 weeks ago. I had been on various e-bike demo days.
Hold on, 14?
Yeah, and he's got a
Wow.
e-bike.
What a lucky guy.
Be on various e-bike demo days and really enjoyed it. I sold my giant stance, an electric scooter and various parts to fund buying the Cube.
Like your style, Harry.
Dad gave him the money, so he still owes him.
Yeah.
He says, upgraded the bars, brakes and pedals. It rides nice. Motor is a little loud compared to the newer demo bikes I tested. He Says he needs to fix the rear 12mm axle. It's just snapped inside the hub. Still rideable though. Thanks again for posting my pics.
Harry, no problem whatsoever. That's one of the early cube bikes, that is. Nice to see it's still rolling after all those years.
Yeah, definitely in that battery.
14!
Yeah.
Wow, I wish I'd had an e-bike when I was 14.
Yeah, definitely.
Lucky guy. Nice one, Harry. Thanks for sending in your photographs.
If you really love what we do here on EMBN, a really good way of supporting the channel is to check out the shop. We've got loads of cool stuff on there. T-shirts, hoodies, puffer jackets, beanies, you name it, it's all on the shop. Be sure to check it out.
And it's that time of the week that you've been eagerly awaiting for. Did you make it onto the bike vault or not? Time to find out.
Nice, we've got this one in from Olivier on his Bulls E-Core Evo AM4 from Cosarella?
From Barcelona, basically.
Barcelona, Spain. First of all, I'd like to congratulate the whole EMBN team for the show, and thanks for sharing your passion and experience of EMBN.
That's very kind. Oh, thank you, Olivier. That's great.
That's good. Cheers.
Yeah.
I can't see many Bulls bikes on the show, but here is mine, E-Stream Evo with Bros Motor enjoying crazy trails in Barcelona.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, 20 minutes after taking that pic, we both ended up at the hospital while trying to ride like Chris Smith for a while. Bad idea.
You don't want to be trying to ride like Chris Smith. It's not always the best thing to try and copy.
Can't wait to get back on the trail. So yeah, obviously wishing you good recovery soon. It'd be good to see you out on the trails. But what are we thinking on that picture,
Well,
Steve?
I think this one was aimed at you, Christopher.
I'm going to give it a super nice.
Boom! Setting off the new year in fine form.
So we got this one in from
Langset.
Carl. So loads of numbers. Carl Uggs there. Specialised Canevo expert. Langset Reservoir near the Cutgate Pass, Sheffield. Watching EMBN convinced me my next bike would be an e-bike. These pics taken on my second outing, which was a 25-mile ride, mostly an eco apart from a few steep climbs. Pleasantly surprised to find out it still had 40% battery when I got home.
Yeah, nice one. Glad to see you enjoying it. Photobombed by a dog.
Yeah.
Where's the dog?
That's what I was just looking for.
Oh, you're going to have to send it back in with a dog in it. That's a nice. Chris, moving on.
Moving on.
Ooh.
Andrew here, 2018 Turbo Levo Carbon Comp.
Where's this?
Mount
it's in
Buller.
Buller, Victoria, Australia.
Yeah.
Nice.
6 of us took on the epic trail at Mount Buller, 4 e-bikers and 2 clockworks, 51 Ks and over 2,000 metres of climbing through the Victorian high country.
Oh dear.
Start of the final descent.
That's nice. That's nice.
Got this one in from Stephen Voodoo Bizango. He's in River Deben in Woodbridge.
Yeah.
I did some riding around Rendlesham Forest and onto the river. I'm 130 kilograms and enjoying getting my fitness back up.
Good on you. Good on you, Stephen.
On a non-e-bike.
Like it.
Nice as well, isn't it?
I'm actually going to give that a super nice.
Going to go super.
Oh, look at the puppy.
Nice as well. Got this one in from Colby, 2018 Specialised Turbo Levo Comp Carbon.
Mammoth Lakes.
Yeah. Got very lucky this year and won my Levo a raffle.
No way!
I live on a ski mountain bike park at 8k feet. It took a while to get here, so first ride was a snow ride.
I mean, that's got to be super nice for
Super
winning
nice
that,
to win
in a raffle.
Yeah.
Wow, it's super nice.
Oh, yeah, super nice.
Oh, look at that.
Demetrius here. He's got his high bike SGRO 4.0.
Athens.
2017.
Pentelli in Athens. Oh, I'm jealous.
Just
I'm
a
so
casual
jealous.
Saturday ride with friends, testing
Are
configuration.
your casual Saturday rides like that?
Not quite. No, don't look anything
I'm
like
feeling this nice.
Nice. This one in from Dave, Scott E Genius 720.
Nice one, Daver.
Overlooking Sherbrooke Valley and Cannock Chase, out smashing the climbs, ignored on my white E5. I live here, lucky me. And recently achieved 7 fastest legs of an MTBO competition on this area.
Amazing.
I think nice, I think. Moving on, got these 2 giant e-bikes here from Brad, Giant Fullies in Squamish, BC, Canada. Out with my wife shredding.
Yeah.
It's a good thing about e-bikes, isn't it? Getting out there with
Squamish, though. Can you imagine living in Squamish on an e-bike?
That'd be a dream, wouldn't it?
God, dream territory.
I think it's nice, that photo as well.
I'd have gone super nice. But there you go. Chris has decided.
This one in from Nuno here. Sintra in Lisbon, Portugal. Change for an e-bike because of you guys on EMBN. I have my e-bike only at 2 months and I'm loving it. Can make more things now and often every day. E-bike are perfect for the Sintra mountains.
Yes, get in there. Get it in you, boy.
Super nice, I reckon.
Super nice every day of the week. Oh, a little bit hot on the flash.
So this is Massimo.
Chris,
stereo.
sorry, Brandon. Look a bit hot on the flash there.
a little bit. Trevor
What
and
bike
Forest
is
in
it? Cube
Belgium.
Stereo Hybrid. It looks like it's got
It's
a
on a-
hub. It looks like it's got a hub drive in it.
No, I don't think so. You can see the big drive, mid drive.
Okay, right.
First night ride, so it's not blasted out with flashes. Actually, there's night lights shining on it. So just a nice that, yeah, a little bit.
Sorry,
overexposed.
boss. Oh, look
Mud.
at that. Proper Eddie mud. I'm guessing this could be Eddie Jeffries. Am
Yeah.
I right, Eddie?
KTM Fogo
A
271.
ride in the local playground. Eddie Fedus, you're a hardtail advocate. I'm going to
think
give you super nice.
Super
for that.
nice. Yeah. We've got the Focus Jam here, limited plus. My brother's just got one. It's actually a really nice bike.
What's your brother's name?
Andy.
Andy Smith.
Andy.
Is this Andy Smith's photograph?
It's not. No,
This guy's Charles.
Ontario,
Right.
Canada.
Charles Smith.
Out riding my roadie friends during the off season, who keep chirping on about my eMTB. I just smile at them as I pass them on all the climbs. So that's nice as well.
Chirp all day long. Right,
Nice.
and that's it. And we're out to the bike vault.
Don't forget to keep sending those bikes into us using the upload service. All details are down below for getting those bikes into us, and it could be you on next week's show.
And that's it. Thanks for watching. Happy New Year to you all from everyone at EMBN. Don't forget there's a few videos which have been out over the holiday period. First all was the history of e-mountain bikes, and then there was the trial.
Yeah,
Chris
check out
Jones
the
versus
Trials
Smith.
challenge as well. Big day out in the woods with that. A lot of fun. But don't forget if
I
you...
didn't see you smiling that
No,
much.
I didn't smile too much.
But don't want to give too much away.
Don't forget to give us a thumbs up if you've enjoyed today's show. Drop us some comments in the box below. Any questions you've got as well, hashtag #AskEMBN. Anything to do with e-biking, we'll get back to you on our Tuesday show, which is the Ask. Don't forget to subscribe to EMBN too, and we shall see you next week.